Hello, everyone. Good afternoon from what today looks like a sunny Italian day. Hello and welcome to today's webinar on the EFSA traineeship experience for 2025. Let me introduce myself. I am Carolina Pereira da Silva. So as you can see by the double surname, I'm Portuguese, and I am currently EFSA's traineeship coordinator. I work in HR, in the talent management team, and today I'm really happy to guide you through this session, but I will have some help, of course, but you will need to wait and see. We're excited to see such a great interest. Let me tell you that we had over 500 people that have registered to this session. And of course, we expect some drops, some no-shows, but still this shows how attractive this opportunity is. And just before we immediately dive into the traineeship, just a few housekeeping notes. You are automatically connected to the audio broadcast. It means one-way audio, so listening only mode. Nevertheless, I want you to feel free to interact and submit your questions in English via the Q&A chat that you will find it on the right up corner of your screen. We do trust that this session will be answering your questions, but a dedicated slot will also be dedicated at the end. What else can I tell you? This session is being recorded, okay? So it will be, the recording will also be published on our EFSA website in the next days. And after the event, tell us how we did. You will receive a direct link to a dedicated feedback survey. So it would be great if you could answer to that. And now let's see what do we have on the menu. Let me walk you through what we have planned today for you. We will start with a quick introduction to EFSA, who we are and what we do, perhaps also a focus on what we don't do. Then we will enter into the details of the 2025 traineeship call. So what's on the offer, who can apply, and also how the selection process will work. And next, you will hear directly from current and former trainees who will share their experiences and some nice insights. And finally, we will open the floor for a Q&A session to address any doubts that you feel the session didn't capture. We do hope that this session will give you all the information. So let's get started by discovering EFSA. You might have looked for some information. We are the reference body for risk assessment of food and feed in the European Union. We are an agency that was set in 2002 to serve as an impartial source of scientific advice to risk managers and to communicate on risks associated to food chain. And that's what you will see in our mission, in our vision, because indeed our purpose is to help ensure a high level of consumer protection. Our purpose is also to improve the EU food safe system and to restore and, most important, maintain confidence in the EU food safe supply. Of course, we all want to know that the food that will reach our plate at the end of the day is safe. So that's also why, for us, it's important to highlight that our mission is from farm to fork. And for us, food needs dedication. That's also why we take into account animal health, animal welfare, plant health, and environment, ultimately helping to protect human life. So first things first, what exactly do we do? We can say that we advise, we collaborate, we communicate. We don't make laws or regulations. That's the job of the European Commission and the EU policymakers. We don't carry out food inspections. This is a question that we normally get. And we do not control food safety at the national level. This is managed by each individual EU member state. Ultimately, you see also that we don't act as an enforcement agency. We focus on science, research, and recommendations. Okay, so in short, EFSA is all about ensuring that food in Europe is safe based on solid science. And to do that, we need the best minds right? Like you here today. But like us, I also like to say that food needs also values. No, and at EFSA, all our activities and how we work together are guided by our values of excellence. We deliver rigorous and reliable risk assessment, and we need to keep abreast with the latest scientific advances. So, scientific excellence. Independence. Okay, that's also our mandate. We ensure impartiality of our scientific outputs. Openness, and if you go on our website, you will see what openness means. No, it means that our risk assessment and communications are accessible to the public. But for me, most importantly, is that they are accessible, but they are also understandable. Because let's be honest, I told you, right, that I work in HR, so I'm not a scientific person, and for me, it's extremely important that I understand what my colleagues are delivering. So our outputs are also understandable. Also, non-scientific person can read and understand. The fourth value, so you will see accountability. And as you can imagine, we serve the public interest, we serve you, and we need to work to deliver improvements in the food safety, but we need to make sure that we use our resources effectively, responsibly, also budget efficiently. Last but not least, cooperation. And again, don't see it as like, oh yeah, that's a nice value. All the organizations have these value. But really for us, we see collaboration as the only way that we have to master the complexities of the present and the future. And this is why we invest in building long-term partnerships to really to have this mutual benefit. And let me tell you that these values are the ones sustaining our working culture. Now, we cannot talk about culture without talking about people, right? And at EFSA, everyone has a role to play, from scientists to communication experts to colleagues supporting our daily business. I like to say, and I hope you can relate to that, we are the sum of all parts. As I've mentioned, we were established in 2002. Our team is international and diverse. We also work together with more than 500 external experts who contribute to our scientific work, and a lively community of approximately 120 trainees per year. And where are we all? We have the pleasure of working in the heart of Parma. This is where EFSA has its headquarters, and we are in the region of Emilia-Romagna. Maybe you have heard it because it's also referred to as the food valley of Italy. And I guess you might have heard about, if not tasted as well, the Parmigiano Reggiano, so the Parmesan cheese, the Parma ham. And moreover, we are also very close from important cities such as Bologna, Milan. And guess what? In 2 hours, you can be enjoying the Renaissance city of Florence or at the Ligurian coast. It's really amazing. And today it's a pity that I can't show you the weather outside, but it's really nice. As you can see, we have also a nice, beautiful park in front of our headquarters. Now, we have talked about people, but going a bit more into detail, you can see our organigram, and you see that the day-to-day management of EFSA is the responsibility of the executive director, of course, with the support of the heads of department, the heads of unit, the chief scientist. And you see, I have also added the QR code if you want to go and check more in detail. Apologies. I wanted to give you just a brief overview of each of our departments, just to make you understand also what will happen afterwards. You see the first department on your left, the management services. We call it the Empower department, and this is the department providing services and solutions ensuring sound governance and accountability, efficient use of resources, and also an inspiring working environment. And here you can find units such as human resources, finance, legal. Then you have the Assess department, which is the department that produces advice, opinions, peer reviews, and also technical reports to support the EU decision makers in making science-based risk management decisions. Then you have the risk assessment services, so the enable department. This is actually the department that delivers services enabling, supporting, and guiding the risk assessment work, promoting also, I would say, integration and synergies between the different areas, and ensuring also the quality and the efficiency of our scientific processes. Last but not least, on the right side, you see the communication and partnerships department, so the engage one. And here it's all about communicating, engaging, and cooperating with audiences, stakeholders, organizations, institutions, to improve reputation and ensure preparedness and relevance for the future. And guess what? Our trainees, our 120 trainees, are also integrated across all levels of the organization, across the different departments, units. They do contribute with their unique perspectives and skills, of course, to the diverse projects and initiatives in place. So now, talking about our trainees, let me revert the focus to our traineeship. What can I say that probably you haven't read? We have an incredible opportunity, a program of 1 year, all-round experience that gives you the chance to be part of our mission. Remember, from farm to fork. What does this mean? It means working at the heart of food safety in Europe, gaining hands-on experience in a multicultural environment, and contributing to real projects that have an impact. Whether you have a background in science, law, communication, or other fields, this is a unique opportunity to develop skills, expand your network, and also take a step forward in your career. This year, our program offers, once again, 120 traineeship positions across different 57 areas of interest. Okay. While approximately 120 traineeship positions will be offered, there is no predefined number of positions per area. Okay, so because the final allocation of trainees will, of course, be based on business needs and selection outcomes. During the application process, you will be asked to select 2 areas of interest. And I do encourage you to carefully review the descriptions of each area. Okay, you have the link available in the call, and perhaps we can also put it here in the chat for you. And you will need to select the areas that best align with your expertise, with your interest, and with your professional aspirations. Let me give you some examples. Here you see science. So now, overall, the idea is that your areas of interest align with your skills and experiences you bring, as well as, of course, your enthusiasm for those topics. Okay, so this experience can come from various sources, including your academic background, studies, research, or other relevant educational experiences. The key is to demonstrate how your background, in whatever form it takes, has prepared you to make meaningful contributions in the areas you have selected. To help you demonstrate this, and maybe I'm already jumping a little bit ahead, and apologize to my colleague, but in your application, we will ask you to answer specific questions related to each of your selected area. For example, questions will ask you to describe your relevant knowledge, any qualifications related to your selected area, and how these have prepared you to contribute effectively. Additionally, we request you to explain how your background or unique perspective could add value to your selected area of interest, providing examples or ideas that showcase your potential impact. And really, by addressing these questions, you will have the opportunity to show us both your passion, but also the tangible ways you can contribute based on your experience. Here I give you some examples for science, because here you will find areas such as animal health and welfare with a focus on the study and management of vector-borne diseases, epidemiology of infectious diseases. You also have, for example, I see the second one, biological hazards and monitoring, no, with the focuses on zoonosis, diseases transmitted between animals and humans through food, contact with infected animals or other means. But also areas you can see on the right side, such as cheminformatics, okay? And cheminformatics services at EFSA, they really support scientific units to enable the efficient analysis and interpretation of chemical data in the context of food safety. And in this case, trainees will support risk assessment processes to identify potential hazards and assess exposure levels. We also have areas, dedicated areas in communication, okay? Like, for example, social sciences and analysis, I see here, no? And trainees in this area will conduct literature review and support both quantitative and qualitative research in areas related to the social aspects of food safety. This includes, for example, studying citizens' awareness, concerns, and attitudes regarding various food safety topics, but also areas like artificial intelligence, where trainees will support change management activities, internal communication on artificial intelligence, and act as ambassadors of artificial intelligence tools. Ultimately, let me give you just also some examples for management services. And here, of course, you will find corporate services such as human resources, financial services, or IT, information technology, where trainees will support the management of IT operations, including, it's not my cup of tea, but I can tell you that it will include cloud operations, but also the management of the main platforms used by EFSA, like Salesforce, Oracle, Azure. One additional area is business coordination and communication. It's an area present across the different departments, and that will focus on supporting senior management in business coordination, internal communication, and also stakeholder engagement. And here, of course, tasks may include preparing and following up on meetings, supporting internal communication. So just please bear in mind that all our trainees, okay, and this you have specifically detailed in the call, all our trainees contribute to the specific unit and department agenda by supporting the people working on those areas. So now you have an overview of the different areas of interest for this year's call, and I think that it's better now that we move on, and to guide us through the key ingredients from eligibility criteria to what we look for in candidates, and of course what we offer in return, I'm actually pleased to hand over to Melita, a former trainee who is now part of our HR team. Melita, maybe you can introduce yourself, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Carolina. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Melita, and I'm coming from Croatia. I have started my journey with EFSA in 2023 as a trainee in risk assessment logistics unit. And after I finished traineeship, I became an interim in human capital unit in talent management team. Before coming to EFSA, I have finished master's degree at the University of Zagreb, Faculty of Economics and Business, and my background was mostly in finance, which I wasn't so passionate about, so EFSA also helped me in a way to change my career path. Today, I will talk about the key ingredients that you need to have to become an EFSA trainee. So first is a university degree. To be eligible, university degree has to be already obtained by the closing date of application. And in this case is 2nd of April. If your university degree of at least 3 years of studies obtained after this date, we will not consider you as eligible. Then you need to have at least B2 level in English language. Here we are receiving a lot of questions if you have to attach any of the certificates in your application form. The answer is no, your English will be tested during the interview. you have never been an EFSA trainee or employed by EFSA, and our traineeship call is open to all EU citizens and non-EU citizens, but for the non-EU citizen, we have limited available posts. Also, if you already did a traineeship call in one of the European institutions or agencies, you are still eligible to apply to the traineeship call. So what are we looking for? In alignment with EFSA values, we are looking for strong team players, as collaboration is integral to our work environment. Effective communication is also crucial. During the traineeship, you will be engaged with diverse stakeholders, so it's very important that you can communicate effectively and you can send a clear message. Today, we are all using the revolution of the artificial intelligence. Myself, I'm using too, but we still are looking for someone who can think critically, who is open to challenge the way we do, and who can propose innovative solutions. EFSA working environment is very dynamic, so we are looking for someone who is not afraid of changes and who can adapt very quickly to different situations. And we are highly value proactivity, so trainees have to demonstrate that they're able to take initiatives, to learn, to grow, and to develop. In return, EFSA can offer you 12 months of full working experience. And here I can talk also from my experience, except that you will learn a lot, you will grow, you will develop some skills that you might didn't even know that you have. You will also have opportunity to make some very nice friendships and to build great networking in EFSA and beyond. And this might help you also for your future career. EFSA traineeship call is paid, so each of the month you will be receiving 1,463 euros. And during your traineeship, you will have your mentor. Mentor is someone who will guide you to your career, to your traineeship, someone who will help you to adapt in the beginning, someone who you can always rely on. And in EFSA, we highly value work-life balance. We don't make here any difference between EFSA staff and trainees. So we all have to come to the office 2 days per week. The other 3 days you can telework from home with a reasonable distance from Parma. But then you also have 10 days of teleworking from abroad, and you will be entitled 2 days of leave per month. Also, during the work time, we have core hours that you don't have to be available. So in these core hours, you can use them for your private appointments. For me, for example, I'm using for gym, but you can also use for some other private arrangements.
Thank you, Melita. Thank you so much, especially for breaking that down so clearly. Unfortunately, I'm not going to the gym. I'm a very lazy person, but thank you also for highlighting how we care for work-life balance. Before we move on, as a former trainee yourself, Melita, what would be your one piece of advice for potential candidates listening to you?
So my advice will be to try to make your application unique. Every year we are receiving thousands of applications, so you have to make your application different than others. And I know that most of you might use ChatGPT, so please try not to just copy and paste into your application form. It can maybe help you to structure your question, to give you an idea how to answer or but cannot make your application different, and this is something that we are looking for. And try to connect your areas of interest with the background and the working experience or other activities that you were doing, for example, volunteering or something else. So I can only wish you now good luck with the selection procedure.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Melita. Very inspiring. Let's move on to the selection process, how you can apply and what to expect. And to walk us through this, I will hand over to Luis, who is currently a trainee in our team and has recently been through this journey himself. Luis, over to you. Maybe you can also present yourself and then walk us through.
Yes, thank you, Carolina, and thank you everyone for being here. My name is Luis. I'm originally from Spain, from the north of Spain. from Galicia. And as Carolina said, I'm currently a trainee. I joined in November in the Human Resources HUCAP department in the Talent Management and Employer Branding team. And even though I already had some experience in the past, I decided to apply to this traineeship because I always wanted to work in an international environment like this. And to be honest, it's been an amazing experience so far. However, as Carolina said, I'm here to guide you a little bit about this through this process and give you also some tips and tricks that can be useful. So now we can click on the video. We will see the different if it's working or not. Okay, Carolina already mentioned the numbers. So the first step will be, of course, submit your application, but the 2 of April, which is next week. And here, my first advice will be to take your time to do this application. Don't wait until the last minute. This will allow you to prepare better and also to avoid mistakes. Then, of course, please be aware that you confirm you meet all the eligibility criteria that Melita already explained. And as she said, focus on your areas of interest and what you have achieved. Of course, use keywords here. Some tip will maybe be to search on the words that are on the areas of interest, which are going to be the words that we'll be scanning for. And for sure, be clear and concise, which means to make the application easy to read. This doesn't mean that it must be shorter or longer, but be clear and concise using short sentences and paragraphs. And of course, make it personal. You will probably use ChatGPT, as I already did. However, try to do it personalized, to explain your motivations and your experience. And last but not least, of course, review it and submit before the deadline, which is 2 of April. During the month of April will be the screening phase, where EFSA units will assess your application and see if you meet all the requirements and business needs. And the candidates will be shortlisted, and the ones who will be shortlisted will be invited for a recorded interview, which will take place during the month of May. And here, the recorded interview consists basically in answering some questions that will appear in your screen automatically. And here you will have time. Okay, now if we stop here, you will have time to read the questions. You will have time also to answer it, and you will have time to review it. Even note please that you cannot change it once you do it, but you will have time to review what you did. And be sure please that you have all your equipment set, your battery, you will not run out of battery, that you have your Wi-Fi and everything is going good. And of course, another trick here will answer the questions using the STAR technique, which means answer the question focusing in which are the situations you need to face, the task you need to achieve, which actions you take, and also the results, how it ended, and which were the results. Of course, if you are here, there is another extra step which is not mandatory, but it will be the remote interview, which is a live an interview online with the assessors and people from the department, where you will have the opportunity to talk with people working actually in the department of your areas and interest, and take this opportunity also to ask the doubts you may have, and to exchange just a conversation with people in the department. And the last step of the process, before the summer, will be the offer, the placement of the offer. So we will try to to finish all the process before summer, so you can have time enough to prepare your things, to looking for accommodation in Parma, if you need to request some visa or everything. Also, you will have time during the summer, and the intakes of the trainees will take place in November and also in October, in November 25. So just to wrap up everything, let's take a mental photo of this. By 2 of April, the call of expression of interest. By April and May, the pre-selection and the interviews, the recorded interviews and the remote interview. By June and July, outcome of the interviews and final selection, and then the take-up duty for successful candidates. So that's everything, and I give the floor back to you, Carolina. Thank you so much.
Thanks to you, Luis. Apologies a little bit for the I went a bit back and forward. But just before releasing you, any piece of advice, an additional one that you would like to give our audience today?
I would like to say to personalize it, but already Melita and you gave this advice to the people. So I would say try to enjoy it. I know it's a tough process, a lot of questions, maybe interviews or waiting for the feedback and everything, but try to enjoy it, and also to take as a learning process with yourself, and be confident in the expression of interest, but also in the interviews.
Thank you. That's actually a very good advice, and I really hope that those that are listening take the full out of these tips and tricks that we are sharing. Indeed, just bear in mind the deadline. So it's already next week, which means that if you haven't started your application, you should do it after the webinar, okay? So that will give you also some time to follow all the tips and tricks shared by Louise. Now, I think we have covered the application process. I would really like to take a closer look at what it actually means to be a trainee at EFSA. And to do that, I'm excited to have some former and current trainees with us today who will share their experiences firsthand. We invited 4 of them. So as you can imagine, we can't have 120 here with us today, but I do hope that you will appreciate our efforts in inviting some key people that can share their experience with you. And let's start with perhaps Eileen, who was a trainee back in 2021. Maybe 2021 is a year that will relate to you as a very difficult moment. There was the COVID, no? So Eileen, thank you for joining us. Maybe could you tell us a bit about yourself and your experience at EFSA, and where your traineeship has led you since then?
Sure, Carolina. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me to join you today. I'm very glad to be here and to tell you all about my experience with EFSA. So as Carolina mentioned, my name is Eileen. I was a former trainee at EFSA in 2021. Well, I graduated in 2020, and let me tell you, it was the year that COVID started. So it was very difficult to start your professional career while COVID was happening, especially when you were looking for an international career. I was lucky, though, the year after to join EFSA as a trainee in the talent selection teams, also in the human capital units. And I must say, the traineeship at EFSA really kickstarted my career. So I can tell you the experience that I had at EFSA was one of the best experiences. It's an environment that allows you to really be yourself, and it allows you as a young professional to also really flourish. You get to know a lot of people from different backgrounds. You get to understand what you like to do and what your interests are, what your passions are, and they really encourage you to ignite your career in the sense that you are encouraged to come up with ideas, with initiatives, start implementing them. And even if you fail, it doesn't really matter. Just try, just go for it. And I can tell you, I was on a project on equity, diversity, and inclusion. And one of my peers was really good in HR data. And we actually used the HR data for the projects and really gained insights on how diverse our team at EFSA actually was. And for me, I didn't have a great background in HR data. But just seeing how this guy was so good with working with it and basing his decisions on it, it really ignited my interest. And when my traineeship at EFSA came to a close, I started looking for an experience that allowed me to really dive deep into HR data because I was convinced I would use it later on in my career. So I looked for an opportunity at the United Nations and I started as a people analytics consultant. So I was there for 2 years working on an internal project to ignite the people analytics capabilities within the HR department. Very interesting, and I can tell you that experience allowed me to have my current experience as an HR business partner for Kellogg's. You probably know it as well, the cereal brand that everyone has in the morning. As an HR business partner. So, and I can tell you, every experience that I've had starting from EFSA has helped me to be where I am today. If I hadn't had the chance at EFSA to start working with HR data, I definitely would not be where I am right now. So I can really encourage everyone to apply and just jump into that adventure. It's really great.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Eileen. Well, maybe do you think that you could share also just one piece of advice for those listening and that are preparing their application?
One piece of advice. My personal advice is just dream big. Don't let anything stop you. Go for it, and I'm sure you can do more than you think you can.
Oh my God! Now you made me almost cry. I love it. God, have you heard it? Dream big. Dream big. Eileen, thank you so much. I know that perhaps you will not be able to stay with us for the entire duration of this session, but just for those that are listening, in case you will have questions for Eileen, we will make sure to collect and then share with Eileen later on, and then we will get back to you with answers. Now, let's turn to someone who is currently experiencing the traineeship firsthand. Nadia, joining us today, not yet from Ireland, but on her way to Ireland, if I'm not mistaken. Nadia, could you share a bit about your journey so far? And could you also give us perhaps an example of a project you are currently working on?
Thanks, Carolina. So, hi everyone. My name is Nadia and I'm from Ireland. I work in the Biological Hazards and Animal Welfare Unit, specialising in qualified presumption of safety. I recently graduated with a degree in molecular biology with biopharmaceutical science in the South East Technological University, Waterford in Ireland. By the way, I would like to quickly thank the staff there for assisting me through the application process and for sharing the traineeship calls to their students. Anyway, I have several years of experience in the food industry, having worked in the quality assurance department of a beef factory called Angus Beef Processing. Having worked in quality assurance department, I worked there every summer I did, and during my college work placement. And after graduating, I completed an internship at Coca-Cola as a lab analyst before being selected to work at EFSA. So I'm very passionate about science, particularly in microbiology. Working in QPS has been a great fit for me, since it focuses on assessing the safety of microorganisms used in the production of human food, animal feed, pesticides, and more. My experience at EFSA so far has been truly rewarding. It's been a great opportunity to network with experts, and I've already learned so much in the past 4 months. I really have now. So the advice I'd give to you is, when applying for the traineeship, take your time to carefully write your application and choose your area of interest wisely. If you're motivated and curious, it is definitely worth applying, trust me. And make the most of your experience by networking with experts and socialising with fellow trainees. And whatever project or task you may be interested to do in your unit in EFSA, by all means show your interest and ask that you would like to take part or follow up. And the more experience, the better. And of course, I wish you the best of luck with the application process. And now I'll pass the floor back to Carolina. Thanks very much.
Thanks to you, Nadia. Thank you. So we have dream big from Eileen, and from Nadia, be proactive. If you want to do something, if you want to be engaged also in other activities, don't be afraid to raise your hand. Really love it. Thanks again, Nadia, for giving us a glimpse into your experience and the exciting work you are involved in. And now, again, also Nadia, if you need to disconnect earlier, thank you. Let me thank you already in advance. And for those listening, again, the same. So if you will have specific questions for Nadia, we will collect them and we will come back to you afterwards. So now, maybe it's time to hear from Arnaud, who is currently working in the Methodology and Scientific Support Unit. Arnaud, could you tell us about a project or task as well, if you have been working during your traineeship? And of course, before, please let us know a bit about yourself. Arnaud, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Carolina, for giving me the floor. First of all, congratulations everyone for being on this webinar. I think the first step of attending the webinar and reading the question and just looking for information about EFSA in general is a very good step towards being selected. I think 99% of what is asked can be answered by what you already know, but it's good as well to go find the information when they are and actually answer what is being asked. That's gonna help you through the process as well. I am Arnaud indeed. My French sounding name comes from Belgium, where I studied chemistry for 3 years. And already during my study, I had a foot in Italy performing an Erasmus period, as probably many of you have. And I basically decided to stay in Italy and study the master here. I worked as a product developer afterwards in a food company. And after a year, I decided to come back to academia and study food science again in Parma to perform a PhD that I finished now. And I knew already 2 years before finishing my PhD that EFSA would be a very great opportunity for me to apply what you can learn in academia and industry in the, let's say, in business, to apply it to a public institution that has way different missions, because here we don't produce, we don't sell goods, we produce way different outputs, let's say. I work in the methodological and scientific support unit, which, to locate here the organigram, is under the enable department. We enable the risk assessment by supporting the unit to improve their statistical work, to develop tools when they need to answer a methodological question or scientific ones. And this sounds very abstract because it actually is. The range of things that we are called to do is very wide. In the analysis team, we are 20 people, and it might mean that we have 40 projects going on. It can be from a small task, solving some graphs or improving some calculation, to wider tools that have to be developed from scratch. And this is where trainee are very important, I think. And it's good for trainee as well, is that trainee are considered as full-time worker as well, and we are given responsibilities and opportunities to learn on those responsibilities. Recently, I started a project that is going to probably carry me until November, and I know that by the end of November, I will have hands-on experience on tools that are used here in a very specific context, but that I will use probably later in my career in statistics, in data analysis, or in food chemistry in general. So I'm very happy until now of this experience that I decided to take. This journey has been good on a lot of aspects. I want to mention as well that you are not alone. We are 120 trainees organized as well. Together, we have a group called TRACOP that organize activities to support the trainees in their stay in Parma, because moving abroad for a year might be an important step for a lot of people, and you're not alone in that. Networking is not only networking during work hours, but as well outside. And that would be my good take-home message for you, is that you are applying for a position, but you're also applying for an experience abroad in an international circumstances that is very rare to find, I believe, and that's really enriching for the rest of your career. And yes, I'm really happy to be part of this journey and very motivating you to apply, even if you're not sure if this is what you want to do for the rest of your career, or if you're not sure what's work of EFSA is. There is a position for you in EFSA probably because of the diversity of the work that is being carried out inside EFSA. So I highly encourage you to apply, and hope to see you in Parma at the end of this year when you arrive then.
Thank you, Arnaud. And sorry, I was not looking elsewhere. I was actually looking at Arnaud, who is sitting at the other side of the room. So well done. I'm so proud of these trainees, and the way they feel so comfortable talking about their experiences is really amazing. It also makes me proud of the work that we are doing with this traineeship experience. So I'm happy that we are managing to provide the environment for them to succeed. And thank you also for sharing your advice. Now, maybe I'm thinking we have, last but not least, we still have one testimonial. Amarella, a current trainee, but perhaps to change a bit, Amarella, maybe you could present yourself and then give us an insight into what a typical day looks like as an EFSA trainee. What do you think? Can you do that for us? Amarella, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Caro. I can definitely do that. So, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Amarella. I'm currently a trainee at the plants unit. And I'm actually in the environmental exposure, fate, and behavior of chemicals team. So my typical day at EFSA starts actually a bit early. I like to be at EFSA quite early, so around 8 to 8:30 I will be at EFSA. And the first thing I do is go to the bar and get a coffee, because coffee here in Italy is very cheap compared to Austria, which is amazing. And the bar is also very nice to catch up with like colleagues and other trainees or also staff members, and just like have a quick chat and check in. So after that, I usually go upstairs and get everything set up, and I will firstly check my emails, because to see what is happening on that day, and see my schedule. And since I'm a trainee in the environmental exposure and fate team, I usually handle dossiers, applications from different companies, and also member states reviews considering pesticides. So it's all about the environmental exposure on pesticides. And so for the most part of my day, I read through a long list of different studies and reviews, and just check if the guidelines have been met and if everything makes sense, and make comments. And yeah, so that's more or less the main objective of my traineeship. However, I'm also part of like working groups, different working groups. It really depends on what kind of, in which kind of team you are, what kind of work you will get. So you can also engage in different projects and, like I said, working groups, and it's quite diverse actually. So not like a typical day doesn't really exist, because there will always be something else for you to do, which is kind of exciting, and you can really have a look on what you like to do. And also, this is one thing I really encourage you to do, to talk to your mentors, to your advisors, but also to other peers and other trainees and staff members, and talk to them what they do, what they like to do, and engage with them. Really have a look on what you could also maybe participate in, and be proactive in that case, and also be proactive outside of EFSA. So of course, you're going to work 8 hours a day at EFSA, and it's occupying a lot of your time, but there is also other things to explore. Like Arnaud already said, there is the TrackUp team. Me and Arnaud are actually members of the TrackUp team, and we organize other things for for trainees, but also interims and sometimes even for staff, and try to kind of get everybody together. You know, here in Italy, the aperitivo culture is quite big, so it's not uncommon for us to meet after the workday and have a drink or two, or to just even go bowling, because you can do that here. And yeah, so my advice is to really take your time, explore Parma, because there's also a lot of things to do in Parma. It doesn't look like it at the first glance because it's kind of small, but if you look a little bit deeper, you will find something that is gonna interest you. And also have your time, take your time, and have a proper look at EFSA, what EFSA is encouraging you to explore, because even though you might be in a team, it doesn't mean that you cannot have a look at others. So really take your time and try to find what you want to do. So that would be my advice. Thank you, Caro. I will give the floor back to you.
Thank you, Amarella. That was also quite insightful. I regret I can't apply now for a traineeship, because you all made me feel like, yeah, I still want to do it. No, thank you so much. And I think I will also invite you for a coffee at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm also an early bird, so we will manage to have a chat. But especially thank you also for telling also our potential candidates listening to you that it's not just EFSA, it's not all about what you do inside, but especially also what you do outside and how you connect with the work of EFSA, with the people of EFSA, and with the community, with our partners, with also with the city hosting our premises. So thank you so much, Amarella, and thank you so much also to Eline, to Nadia, to Arnaud, also to Melita and to Louise, who have all shared their experiences, but especially their advice to you. So I think now we actually managed to cover a lot of information. We now want to open the floor to additional questions or doubts that you might have. So if you feel that your doubt hasn't been addressed yet, feel free to write in the chat. We will now do our best to provide answers in this time slot. This is really the opportunity to get any clarification you need, whether it's about the traineeship program, the selection criteria, or the experience itself. And just to let you know that in case we don't manage to answer all the questions, because I'm receiving now heads up by my colleagues that there are a lot of questions. So if we don't manage to answer them all, no worries. We will do that offline and publish the answers together with the recording of this session. So no problem at all. So let me just start looking at the questions. I see that we have an amazing team working in the backstage and already answering some of the questions. And I also see that there are questions in particular related also with our testimonials, more linked with the activities, the activities that our trainees do on a daily basis. And I think I've mentioned that also when I gave you an overview of the departments, but also the areas of interest. And of course, all the trainees will perform tasks that will contribute to the agenda and to the specific mission of that unit. Okay. Plus any specific projects or initiatives, of course, the trainee will be involved. This is something maybe that I didn't mention. I gave it for granted. You enter the main door as a trainee, but you are not treated differently. You don't come to just observe. You come to get your hands on what we do. So basically, every day you have the opportunity to access to data, trainings, read literature reviews. You will have the opportunity to prepare reports, analyze data, summarize, preparing highlights, you will really do a bit of everything in the context of EFSA's work. There is also one aspect that I didn't mention that could be quite insightful for you. In case, for example, you work as a co-author on a specific scientific opinion, you are also entitled to publish your name. So your name will also appear. So it's not because you are a trainee that your name will be kept outside the records. On the contrary, we are very proud of the work done by our trainees in all the different fields. What questions do I also have? I don't know, maybe, I don't know if it's still possible. I know there is also a bit of technicalities, but maybe, I don't know, I see Arnaud there. Arnaud, is there any specific task that you didn't mention that perhaps you could tell our audience that you do in MESE? MESE is the acronym of the unit where Arnaud is currently working. Any specific task?
Yes, Carolina, yes, now you see me. Indeed, in MESE, the tasks are very varied and the teams are very varied, but I believe, and I'm talking also from people that maybe have more experience as the bachelor and that maybe fear that they would deviate from a trajectory, you can find something related in EFSA. I know, for example, that in the desk in front of me in the office, someone is working only in gathering information, handling the libraries, the scientific publication. I know she's the person we have to contact if we need a scientific review, if we need bibliographic review on a certain topic. So that's some kind of a process that is provided by the unit. Some other people in the unit are coding, basically. They're doing pure statistics tools. For example, I am using myself developing statistical tool using R, for example, as a language. And I know in the unit, other people might be working more on data collection and let's say unifying the methodologies to collect data. So in the end, those are knowledge that might be very specific to EFSA, but that are really transferable to whatever career you might have afterwards. And even though it's very likely that only one institute in your country perform the same activity on top of EFSA, it's very likely that the skills you will learn and what you will do on a daily basis is going to be applicable later in your work. I know that it's not likely that I will work on a risk assessment, for example, on the specific molecules I'm studying now in the future, but developing statistical tool is really transferable. So MESE has this weird role of providing support of a lot of aspects, but I think it's also what makes our work rich in the way that a lot of profile can fit, and it can really teach you a lot of different aspects. As well, you don't need to apply if you fulfill a full stack and a skill set already, because you will learn a lot on the way. That's why we are trainees and not staff, is that we are here to learn as well. And staff is actually very motivated and helpful to teach us and show us our thing can be done. So it's a learning and working experience in the same time.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Arnaud, and also thank you also for spotting that that space. You are here also to do as many mistakes as possible, provided that it will help you grow. Okay, so, and this is a safe environment to try and to retry again. Thank you. Is it possible to pass on the floor to Amarella in case you want to add any specific tasks that you can share with our potential candidates? Any specific tasks that maybe you mentioned during your presentation, or perhaps that you are aware trainees are doing in your unit?
Yes, thank you. Of course I can. So for me, in the unit that I'm in, and specifically in the team, like I said, the main focus is on pesticides review. So that's basically the main work that we do. However, we also have different projects going on. Sometimes specific guidelines need to be reviewed again to be improved and to be to make the review process in general then better and easier and updated. But there are also very different tasks sometimes. It really also depends what kind of mandates or how can I explain it a little bit better so it's a bit more clear what kind of like jobs we get from the European Commission, because they also sometimes will ask us to assess something, to do a risk assessment on different things, and also the trainees within the plants unit that I'm a trainee at is quite the tasks are quite diverse, because we have, like I said, pesticides review management that I'm involved with, but also we have monitoring of hazards when it comes to plants or other things that involve a bit more modeling, for example. So it really is quite diverse also within the units. And of course, we also have trainees who are not specifically in the SS processes involved, but more in administration, for example. So there's even within your unit, you will be able to explore different things, and and that's what I wanted to make clear, and also for you to know, to be super proactive and to be honest with your mentor, because this is your traineeship, not somebody else's, and you're not here to necessarily please someone, but to explore and please yourself, and to really engage in this very unique experience where you can explore basically everything. So really talk to your advisor, talk to your mentor, tell them what you would like to do, and there will be a possibility for you to do these kind of things.
Thank you, Amarella. Yeah, very clear, at least for me. Thank you so much, and I hope also for Magali that you found these answers from our testimonials useful. There is another question. Should we focus our application within one specific department, or can we apply for two different ones? As we mentioned, when you apply, you can select two areas of interest. Okay, and then it really depends on you if you want to focus those two areas, of course, if you want to really select them based on your background, or if you say, well, I want to choose one strictly linked with my background, and the second area maybe something that it's not in my current remit of studies, but it's something that I want to explore and that I know that I can bring something to contribute to that area. There is also, I think I have also a question on how EFSA sets the environment. We do not have any laboratories, if that's the question. No, and I'm sorry if it was not explicitly mentioned during the introduction about EFSA. Then we have, I'm particularly Oksana, I guess. I'm particularly interested in L&D and instructional design. Since I can only select HR as an area of interest, should I still highlight my focus? Yes, absolutely, Oksana. So again, aligning with what we have provided you today, you select your areas and then you will need to answer specific questions. And there is exactly where you will put the emphasis on your interests, on your background, on any relevant aspect that you will be looking for within that area of interest. So that's a perfect example. If you choose human resources, then you can focusing on how so many different aspects. We also have a question on, in case we are not shortlisted, will we be notified. So basically there is a feedback mechanism throughout the entire process. However, please bear in mind that the feedback comes at the end of the process. So if you are not shortlisted, you now know that if you are shortlisted, you will probably receive a communication by end of April, okay? But then it can be that those that are not shortlisted will receive the information only after the interview. So always before the summer, but definitely everyone is informed. Does this mean that the interview and eventual job offer will be anticipated of 1 month as well as this year? So I noticed that the start. So indeed, we have anticipated the launch of the call. This also to allow more time for the process, also for the quality of the process, but the starting date remains the same. Okay, so our upcoming trainees will start or on the 1st of October or at the beginning of November. Okay. How long, Federico, how long does it take to know the results of the application? Would it be possible to know the timeline? So I think we had also Louise giving you an overview. So we do expect that before the summer, so June, July, we will be informing all candidates on the outcome of EFSA's decision. Okay, then, for example, if there will be more than one interview. Okay, so here let me give you just a piece of information regarding the interview. The recorded interview, the recorded interview is the same for all shortlisted candidates, so it's only one. Then you can be shortlisted by two different units, for example, no, for two different traineeship positions. So you will do only one recorded interview, but then you might be called to have two interviews live. So where you will really answer the questions directly to those that will be screening and assessing your application. We also have, even though two intakes are foreseen with the starting dates in October and November, is there a chance to start 2 or 3 months later in February? No. So these are the main intakes, October and November 2025. Having said that, of course, there can be imagine also that a trainee starts in October and leaves in December for any specific reason, a new job opportunity. And in that case, we will be looking for another trainee that will start then in January or in February. So it's possible, but we are talking about very specific cases. Dionysia, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. While making our application, if we save the application as a draft, can we continue filling it in a different time? Absolutely, yes. But again, here, bear in mind the tips and tricks from Louise. Don't wait for the last minute to complete and submit. Remember that even if the world now has all these amazing technologies and artificial intelligence, technicality issues still happen. So imagine that you wait 10 o'clock in the evening to press the push button and suddenly your computer crashes or there is something. So do not wait for the last minute. Another question. First of all, thank you for this webinar. Thank you. I would like to know, after the traineeship, are there any chances of pursuing a career in EFSA? And I think we have different questions regarding this topic. So here, of course, we can't promise the retention if that's the question, but there are, of course, opportunities to remain engaged with EFSA. I gave you also an example today of a former trainee, Melita, now working in our team as an interim. We do have a high percentage of trainees that succeed in passing our specific selection processes. There is also, of course, I think he don't look just on the opportunities to remain with us. I think it's like Eileen said, no, think big. dream big. Think about all the opportunities that you have outside EFSA as well. Having an experience trainee at EFSA in your CV will definitely make a difference for you to look also for jobs in other agencies, in other EU institutions, but also beyond. We have trainees that succeeded and are working at the UN, at WHO, at the FAO in Rome. So dream big. Of course, EFSA is a lovely place to start. There is, of course, few opportunities depending on being successful or not in our selection procedures, but there's definitely a EU career environment outside also waiting for you. Okay, we have also questions on the number of positions that are available for non-EU candidates. So indeed, as Melita shared with you, we have 120 positions with a limit. Out of these, a limited positions are for non-EU candidates. We do believe in collaboration going beyond EU borders, and this is the reason why also not many agencies are offering this opportunity to non-EU candidates. So we are very proud of giving this opportunity. However, of course, we need to be cautious on the numbers, and indeed the limit, I think it has been set this year approximately on 15% of the positions for non-EU candidates. They are, of course, not linked to the areas of interest. Okay, I don't know if it's still Yasmin asking this question. So it's not that, oh, in human resources we have one post for a non-EU candidate. No, the non-EU positions are across the different areas. Okay. We also have, okay, the living costs in Parma. Maybe here, I think, well, we have managed to increase our monthly grant. It's currently higher than in other, for example, if you are thinking about the Blue Book traineeship in Brussels. So we managed also to increase our monthly grant. I don't know whether is it possible for any of our testimonials here today. Maybe Arnaud. I know the trainees have a lively life. So maybe do you want to share anything regarding the costs? Maybe something that I can also anticipate is that for those the trainees, there is always I think that they have also a WhatsApp group and a channel where they also exchange things, for example, at a good price, or if there is, for example, rooms and other type of information that can be useful. Arnaud, can you confirm and maybe elaborate? Thank you.
Sure. So to confirm, to answer the question very fast, as first, yes, it's possible to live with a monthly grant. The city of Parma is in Italy, as you know, and Italy is a bit cheaper than other countries and a bit more expensive than others. It is expected. Parma, compared to Italy, it might be on the upper bound, let's say. It is a bit more expensive than other places you've been before, but still the grant is sufficient to live. Renting a room is around 350 or 400 euro per month. I'm looking at my colleagues to see if they agree or not, but this is the cost you're gonna find. Unfortunately, you're gonna maybe need to put a little bit of energy into that, because the city is known for not having a lot of accommodations and having owners that tend to prioritize people that speak Italian, for example. So you might need to do the effort to write in Italian, to go get the information. For example, you need tax code to come into Italy. So a little bit of energy will have to be put into that during your summer. But think about the fact that we are 120 trainees every year. So 120 rooms are getting empty and then filled again. So that's why we indeed have a WhatsApp group to help to do this transition. We usually enter, I entered the WhatsApp group in July, for example, when I knew I got selected, and I think that's the right moment to start looking. Also because unfortunately, it's spurious, but the traineeship starts when Italian university starts again. So there might be a little bit of competition on the market with university students, but you can also use this competition to get into the groups meant for students, fuori sede, as you say in Italian, so students from other cities in Italy. So you need to get invested in your home research and you will find something. The grant, the money is not going to be the limit. The availability will be the challenge. But I think it's part of the experience too. I mean, finding a house, start to have bills at your name and get really into adult life. It's part of the experience beside the traineeship, but it's totally doable, monetary speaking. I'm of course talking about the student life. I mean, if you have a different way of living, you have 3 cars and 10 horses to feed, then it might be difficult, but for student life after university, it's totally fine. And yeah, I really think it would be okay. If you, the deal is to find a house and to put energy into that.
Thanks a million, Arnaud. I'm going through other questions just for the sake of time, but I see also connected with the previous one on the non-EU citizen and the need to have the visa. So you can also find all this information available in on our website. And indeed, if you are selected and you are a non-EU candidate, you will be requested to have a visa. Nevertheless, EFSA is also helping you there. So basically, we provide some reference documents that then you can present at the embassy to get the visa. Normally, it facilitates the process. Nevertheless, is your responsibility. So we provide you just with some useful documents that you can present. I also have, okay, there were some questions also regarding housing, but I think Arnaud covered already. Okay, do you offer a private insurance plan for trainees? So he also, please bear in mind that there are specific, there is specific information that can help you. We do request that prior to start your traineeship, you need to be covered with a health insurance. So this is not, our insurance covers some aspects, but not all. There are some questions for Nadia that I think she's no longer connected, but we will ask her to come back to these questions. There is also a question. Where did I see? Sorry, I'm just scrolling down trying to see if there is. Okay, I also have Estelle. What types of questions are asked during the recorded interview? Do they relate to our personal experience? Also he make reference to Louise' tips and tricks. So the recorded interview will be the same for all the shortlisted candidates, and you will be indeed asked to provide examples of specific situations, and then you need to provide the answer. When providing the answer, we suggest you to think about the STAR technique, and there you can think about different experiences that you had, and it could be actually something from your personal life. But the most important is that you think about the STAR. So, what was the situation? Okay, what was the task? What were you tasked to do? What were the actions that you have pursue? Okay, and what were the results? Okay, what were the results of your actions? If you want to add something, think about an L. I know startle doesn't look very fancy, but think about the L to conclude. What did you learn? What this situation helped you with, and how you would do better in the next time. Let me see any other questions. I know that we are running out of time, but maybe let me see. I'm asking here also my colleagues to facilitate. Does EFSA offer training opportunities to trainees, language courses, for example? So absolutely, the first one. So EFSA offer training opportunities. So during your traineeship, these 12 months, you have access not only to different learning platforms like LinkedIn Learning, the EU Learn from the Commission, not all the packages, but several resources. Plus, you have the opportunity to attend any internal trainings being prepared and delivered for our staff, and these can go from specific courses on toxicology or botanicals to other trainings a little bit more corporate, like, for example, procurement and grants, or now we have been doing also a lot of investment on artificial intelligence tools. On the language aspect, so of course, we have a dedicated space where when you join EFSA, you will have access to different resources also for language. Nevertheless, we do think that the best to learn Italian in this case and to really integrate is really start going outside, building the community with other trainees. And I know that in that area, in that space, the trainees normally do a great job also in sharing their knowledge and doing conversation in different languages. There is one question. I am currently a PhD student, and part of the requirement is to conduct a mobility or traineeship abroad. If I complete and get selected to the traineeship, what is the possibility of also working on my PhD while doing the traineeship? Well, let me be very honest here. It's a full-time experience. Okay, so it's really, I think it was Amarella who mentioned it's 8 hours a day. So we do encourage people to think at one thing at a time. Okay, so if you are finishing your master, maybe it's better for you to finish your master and apply next year. The same if it's a PhD, because otherwise you might risk not taking the most out of either the experiences, the master, the PhD, or the traineeship. When it comes, so Sophia, when it comes to the reference contacts, is there a desirable number of references? How important are they? Will you contact them at the beginning of the selection? So there is no standard answer, okay, because it's up to you to really see who are those references that are crucial or that can really tell us more information about you. But please bear in mind that it's not part of the selection process a standard call to this reference that are provided. So in some cases there can be a call or an email, but in the majority of the cases it's not a standard step of the process. There you go. Okay. I also see when are you planning to publish the recording of this session. I will get there in a second. Okay, this was also for the other training. It was no longer here. Could you mention the full names of the speakers from this session, please? Absolutely, we will do that, and I do hope also that you connect with us afterwards. I see also different questions where you are mentioning what you are studying and asking our advice on what area you should select. Of course, it's your decision. You need to know based on what you are passionate about and where you think you will be able to contribute. I'm looking at the time. I know that we are. Okay, when applying, do you have to upload any documents? No, it has already been answered. There is a question also on, could you explain a bit more, how does the mentorship program work? Is there a predefined structure with feedback sessions per week? Okay, so here maybe let me see, Marta. Basically, each trainee, when they start, is assigned a trainee advisor who will be then the person providing mentorship, but also coordinating the daily work. That doesn't mean that the person will be like every day checking on the trainee, but will be mainly there present to explain the trainee how the work, so providing the tasks to do, but explaining how that work will contribute into the big picture. And that person will be helping the trainee identify any blind spots, identify the strengths, the areas for further development. Something that really could you could take it with you after the traineeship at EFSA. We do have some formal feedback moments. Okay, but then it really depends on the relationship that it's established between the trainee and the mentor. Also, because maybe there are trainees and mentors that prefer to have a meeting on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis with a more structured format. It really depends on that specific relationship. Maybe, for example, I see. Maybe I can tell you that from my experience, I'm also a mentor, a trainee advisor, and every year I try to understand the needs and the preferences of the trainee. Okay, and then based on that, I establish the relationship and I set also the working and the mentorship program. Let's see. We don't have much time. I see also, Camilla, can I have more information about animal welfare area? So all these questions related to the specific areas of interest, please, I do encourage you, I strongly invite you to have a look at the detailed description that you find in the call. There's a specific link that directly puts you in contact with the areas of interest, but also explore our website. Okay, because you will find a lot of information also there. Now, I really need to close the Q&A, but again, as I anticipated, I will make sure that the questions that we didn't manage to answer today, we will provide a written answer and we will publish together with the recording. And it's really going now to end. I know I'm seeing also the faces. People are giving me the sign that I really need to close. But I don't want to close without telling you something that for me it's very important. And both Melita and Louise slightly mentioned. I really hope that this session has helped you understand what we are looking for and how you can put forward the best possible application. But if not, let me just give you one final important insight. Create your individual value proposition. This is what can make you stand out from other candidates. And your value proposition is a combination of your skills, your experiences, your personal qualities. These are the things that can make you a great fit. It's about understanding what you can bring to our table and how you can contribute in a unique way. Think about what sets you apart. Are you great at problem solving? Do you bring a fresh perspective? Do you have strong analytical skills? Remember that artificial intelligence tools can be useful to structure your thoughts, but also to refine your writing, but they should not replace your own input. Think about that. If your application is entirely AI generated, we won't see you and we won't see who you truly are. And we want to understand your experiences, your ambitions, and your motivation, things that AI cannot fully express. So take the time to reflect on your strengths and what makes you unique. In other words, be different, be unique, and be yourself. This is now a wrap up. A traineeship is not just about gaining work experience. It's one full year, an all-round experience about growth, learning, and expanding your network. At EFSA, you will have the opportunity to work on real projects, to contribute to meaningful work, and to collaborate with experts in the field. If you are considering applying, go for it. Please use the link, the website. Remember the deadline. It's the 2nd of April. And we really look forward to receiving your application. And who knows, maybe we will see you soon at EFSA. Thank you again to all our speakers, contributors, and of course to all of you joining and engaging with us today. Just remember that the recording, the presentation, and any additional frequently asked questions will be published and available in our website in the next coming days. So please remember to check our website. Please also take a few minutes to complete the survey that you will receive by email. What else? Stay connected, stay in touch. Here you have an overview of all the ways that you have to connect with us. Let me focus also on the podcast. This is really something that we are very proud of. So if you are not following and not listening to our podcast yet, please do so. It's extremely insightful. Some episodes also very funny, so you should not be missing that. Connect with us on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, you will also see that we have different testimonials, other testimonials, rather than the ones we have the pleasure to be here today. And thank you, everyone. I do hope that you found useful, and stay connected. Thank you. Bye bye.